This is Top Shop Podcast.
Shop Podcast.
Top Shop Podcast.
Podcast for automotive service business owners by Paul Donahue.
Hey, Top Shop Podcast listeners. Got Laura Lewark here, and she's happens to live right where I lived for a little over a decade, I think. Yeah. So I lived in Dillon, Colorado, and the next town over on my way to Copper every weekend to go skiing is Frisco. So that's where I did a lot of my grocery store stuff. So as soon as I saw Frisco, I already knew the shop. It's a ski town, a country, right?
Yep, ski country.
Ski country. Yeah. So I edit that up. It's Ski Country Auto in Frisco, Texas. So,
Colorado.
Okay. What did I just say?
Texas, which it happens.
Oh, Frisco, Texas, because there's a Frisco in Texas. Yeah.
We get Breckenridge.
Never been there. I've never been there.
Yeah.
It's a much bigger town. So anyway, it's Ski Country Auto in Frisco, Colorado. So I lived in that county, Summit County, for a little over 10 years. So I lived just one town over from you. You know exactly where I lived, in Summit Cove. So and I was familiar with their shop then. At the time, they weren't working on German cars, so I had to take mine all the way down to Denver, hour and a half each way. So, but anyway, 55 years in the business and 31 years there in Frisco, Colorado. So, wow, that's a long time. So,
yeah. So
tell
55
me.
in the same location. My in-laws it started out as a Texaco gas station.
Oh, okay.
And my in-laws at the time lived in Denver, and had plans of moving their young family to Summit County. And they applied. It was a lottery system, and so the Texaco was a corporate Texaco built shop. And my in-laws entered the lottery and won to purchase the business. So they moved. Their sons at that time I think my husband was 5 and my brother-in-law was 7. Moved their young family to Frisco, and it had a small, just classic 2-bay gas station with gas pumps. And then they identified the need for towing, so they added tow trucks, couple, not many at that time. And then they grew it, and the boys grew up in the business. They've done everything. They started sweeping the floors and pumping gas, and as they got older, they were called in to work truck wrecks and eventually drive tow trucks, and then eventually they both entered the business. So, yeah. Yeah. And then fast forward, my husband and I married. We dated and married. I had gone to college and came back, and then we started a family. And when I became pregnant with my daughter, at that time I was a loan officer and didn't want to continue in the banking industry.
Okay, that's right. You were in banking before. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I left the banking industry, and my mother-in-law was ready to retire at that time. So I took over her position, and back in the days, then we hand typed statements. Everything was, no benefit of computers.
Yeah.
It was very different. And 31 years later, now we've grown the business. We've since bought out Larry's brother. So it's just Larry and myself. And we have a staff of 15 employees. 12 tow trucks. I have 4 full-time auto technicians, and we have 2 more that are set to start the beginning of June, and we'll be adding another service writer. And as you said, as you identified, we have expanded the makes and models that we work on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So historically, we're pretty much domestics, light trucks, some medium-duty trucks, but after talking with my techs, and we went to Vision, my techs were very interested and very bought in, and said, we'd like to expand into the realm of Europeans and German vehicles.
Yeah.
So expanded that to our categories as well that we can service.
Okay. Yeah. So you gave me a lot to talk about there. So let's go back to
Way
the
back.
beginning because one of my favorite questions to ask any auto repair shop owner is when you got started, how old were your kids? And they're like, oh, well, they were 2 and 3, or they were just, my wife was pregnant then. And I'm like, okay, your wife was pregnant, and then you decided to start a repair shop. So work-life integration, it can be really, really, really tough because those first years, man, if you don't,
It's yeah.
it's very, well, 80% of shops fail within the first 5 years. Of the 20% that make it, another 80% of those fail in the next 5. So the amount of shops that get started and make it 30 or 50 years has got to be very, very, very infinitesimal. So what was it like back then? Larry working at the shop, you trying to take care of the kids, and I imagine you were helping them. You've helped them and worked with them the whole time, right?
So yes, I took care of the kids and I was full time at the shop as well.
Yep.
So, but we had our defined lanes, so to speak. His lane was to be the provider. His lane was,
All right.
and there were many times that he worked 6 days a week, and with the tow trucks, those are 24/7.
Yeah.
So he did all of that. So my lane was to make sure fiscally and financially and all things paperwork wise was taken care of at the shop, as well as take care of the family at home. The nice thing was, because it's your own business, it afforded me the flexibility. If I needed to take a child somewhere, I could, or if I needed to attend a hockey game, I could. And then Larry came as often as he could.
Mm-hmm.
So he joined us as often as he could. But yes, I mean you're right. I mean it's not for anybody. It's not for everybody.
Right.
It was a lot of hard work.
Tell me about, and I know there's plenty of them, but tell me about a tough time that you guys had and how you made it through.
I mean, 2008 was very difficult.
I've heard that before. Yep.
2008 was very, very challenging. We were to a point where we had a home equity loan that we utilized to make payroll.
Oh, you had to do a HELOC just to make payroll?
Yeah, it was rough. My husband and I and my brother-in-law sat down and we talked, and we actually attended a Napa conference in Las Vegas that year. We felt that, we were struggling. How do you run a business? A lot of times when you grow up in a business, you're not trained on how to run it.
Right.
You're
Right.
trained on how to be a technician. You're trained on how to be a tow truck operator.
But
You're not trained. And I had some background. I mean, I had a degree in business, so I had some background. But all in all, we didn't really have that management background on how to do that. And so while we were at the ATI conference, we ran into a friend of ours that has a shop down in Loveland, and we were discussing, the need for a business coach. And at that point in time, he recommended that we look into ATI. And honestly, we never looked back. It was a big leap. When we first met with the salesperson, it was very expensive. And we were barely paying, like I said, we had a HELOC to pay our payroll. We were barely paying our bills. And he said, I promise you, ATI will show you how to turn this around and make money. And that was Larry and I just received our 10-year pin at ATI. We've been with them for 10 years. I don't foresee a time that we will be without them as long as we're involved in the business.
Yeah. So coaching is one of the biggest things that I have heard every auto repair shop owner on my podcast say that was one of the major turning points for their business. That, and then getting with the right marketing company to get them the revenues and the return on investment from internet, because there's only two ways to get business. It's either going to be referral or people looking for you on the web. But coaching, and then a lot of shops that I see that they have a very ambitious growth program. We have one customer that's opened 5 shops in 10 years because he keeps finding he keeps finding shops of owners that are getting ready to retire and they really didn't have any kind of a exit plan, or some of them he said don't even have a website. So he just comes in and he just guts the place, makes it all his branding, and flips the switch. And he says he's busy that day, the day that he opens, because
And
there's been
yeah,
a for 30 years, right?
and I would agree with you. That's probably the second biggest. I can remember when the yellow pages would come out.
Oh,
And we would be so
yeah,
excited. Where was our placement?
yeah,
Where
yeah,
was
yeah.
our ad in
Advertising
comparison?
was pretty simple back then.
Very simple. And it was hard to, wrap our head around SEO. What was SEO and
Right, yeah,
what
yeah.
did that look like? And that was a challenge.
Yep, I'll bet
So
it was. You
yeah.
have seen some changes in the industry. What do you think the biggest changes in the last 5 or 10 years? What do you think the biggest changes in the last 5 or 10 years have been?
I'm excited. Honestly, my children graduated high school. My son is my youngest, and he is 10 years out this year. When I went to go talk to their high school counselors, my daughter's 3 years older than he. Um, that was in an age where we didn't discuss the trades. Every kid was going to college. There was no other alternatives. That was the push. In our high school, and I said, but what happens if they don't want to go into the trades? And we are involved in our local high school. We offer a scholarship, and we help mentor the auto shop program. They finally got an auto shop program. I am excited because I feel like the trades are finally getting noticed. They're finally getting acknowledged as a way for these kids that are graduating high school to make a good living, a decent living. If they're dedicated and they want to learn, they can do it without a 4-year degree and without hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. Many times, if they find a shop, we actually implemented growing our own technicians because we recognized
Right.
that it was hard to hire techs, and so now we grow our own.
Okay. So that was going to be one of the questions in this podcast for sure, because you cannot get two auto repair shop owners in the same room more than 15 minutes and the tech shortage not come up. So, and you're already giving me the smartest strategy I've heard so far for making sure that you don't have a shortage. So, but how do you find, hire, and retain good technicians? So you've already started off on that conversation. So go ahead and finish up. You go find them. You get them.
You go find them, and then you provide the other thing that we hold very, I mean, even more so than a skill set, right? You can teach a skill set, but you can't change your culture. The culture of your shop is everything, and to me, it is vital. If my team is happy, I can teach them how to work on a car. I can teach them how to run a tow truck.
Sure.
But if I get one bad player in my group that is hurting my culture on my teamwork and how we look at things, I can't, that's something that then it's like a cancer and it just continues to spread. So my
Mhm.
culture is really everything.
Okay. Next question. If you came to you 33 years ago and said, "Hey, Laura, what kind of culture do you have?" You'd say, "I don't eat yogurt." Okay. Remember?
Yep.
You go,
It's top down. I mean, it's top down management.
yeah, go to an auto repair shop owner 3 decades ago and talk to them about culture, and they're like, "What?" So it was super vital, important. Anything that you guys do that are special, like a lot of shops have a weekly lunch. Some of them they have off-site activities every now and then. Is there anything that you guys do specifically to really help you maintain a good shop culture?
So this year, for the first year, that's where we met, was Vision.
Uh-huh.
We closed our shop, and for 3 days, we traveled to Kansas City. We rented a VRBO. We all stayed together.
Oh,
Um,
so you closed the whole shop down, took everybody.
yep, took
Okay.
everybody. My
Yep.
service writers, my general service tech, from to my A tech. Everybody
Sure.
went. That was huge. We will continue to do that in the future. It's fantastic. It was time with just my guys. They got to talk to each other. We set them free at the trade show. And honestly, that's why they came back to us and they said, we would like a picoscope. We would like this scan tool that we feel can put us into different markets. And had it just been my husband and I, we wouldn't have looked at those tools. We probably wouldn't have considered them. But our techs came back and then we said, okay, guys, now what are we going to do to pay for these tools? How are we going to use them? And they were fully vested. So that was great. And we're also looking at the towing side of the business. I'm doing a similar training with the towing side. So
Sure.
we'll do that. And then, as far as culture-wise, we do 2 events a year that include their families. We'll be
2 events. Okay.
Yep. So in August,
Like picnics, stuff like that.
August, we're taking all of our team and their families to a Colorado Rockies game down in
Okay.
Denver. So everyone's invited. We also do a Christmas party in December. December, January, it kind of depends on the snow, how much snow we're getting.
Right.
So
I know all about that. That's why I moved to Dillon.
Yep. So those are a couple of events that we do, but there's a lot of other things that we do from, we do a monthly lunch, an employee lunch. It's basically a birthday. It encompasses any birthdays that are in that month. And so, yeah, there's just a lot of different things that we look at culturally. So our marketing person that does all of our social media, she also is in charge of our internal team. So she organizes all of our events. She has a sheet when it's their work anniversary. She asks them, what they like, what they don't like. So she also, not only does she do our external customers, but she does our internal ones as well.
Okay. Awesome. So you mentioned a key thing. When your staff sees that you close your shop down and invest in them, going and getting training and education, that says everything. That means that you care about them. That means that you're there to support their culture. They're not just there to fix cars. So let me talk about vision real quick. This will be my 3rd year there. And you guys are going next year. When you go into the lunchroom, I've got that booth right there in the corner.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you start off and then you can build. And I've got a really primo spot for next year. So, but I'll see you there. But vision. So if there's anybody listening to this podcast and they're not familiar, I think it's visionkc.com. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Visionkc.com. It is the largest trade show specifically for auto repair shop owners. There's no collision there. It's just all auto repair. It is a phenomenal show. It is the #1 show in North America. It's not, SEMA is a zoo. It's Vegas and it's everything. This is specifically for auto repair shop owners. It's in the Midwest because Sherry Hamilton, the woman that runs it, didn't want that Vegas atmosphere. They have church on Sunday, so they wanted family atmosphere. So that's why it's in Wichita, Kansas. So, and then you've got ASTA, which is the Automotive Service and Tire Association. That is the largest and best trade show in September over on the East Coast. So if you're listening and you're over on the East Coast, you haven't heard of ASTA, look it up. That show is phenomenal. It's specifically for auto repair. So, but Vision and any of these shows are all about training. So you go, you sign up for the training there, and I believe every single person I've ever spoke to, is this your first year? Oh no, been coming for years. Usually when people come the first time, that's it. They come back. And so are you going to be there next year?
Absolutely. 100%.
So,
And it was not only was it team building for my staff.
oh yeah, team building too. I didn't think about that. You're not just for training. It's you and your staff. You're off property. You're all eating lunch and dinner together. Yeah.
Yep.
It's
And
team
and I
building.
let them choose their classes. I said,
Right.
And I will say what was so impressive is I have a very high level Master A. He's Toyota and Lexus certified, very high level. There were classes that challenged him all the way down to my general service. He took, basic electrical. And my service writer took some AI classes, also took some, sales classes. So yeah, everyone, and I took quite a few management classes. So there was something for every single one of us. It was
Wow,
great.
that was great. Yeah. So I do like to ask this question. I know it's all conjecture, but where do you think the industry is going?
Um, Gosh.
We're all going to be driving around in Jetson cars, or do you think it's all going to be batteries one day, or do you think it's, a hybrid? I'm personally praying for being able to move hydrogen around safely, which we can't right now. But any idea?
Um, Personally, I think the batteries are ahead of their time. I don't think we have the infrastructure. My daughter lives in Wyoming. And, the thought of, but my husband and I have talked about it to try and get to her house. And if I'm going to choose my 6 hour drive, or I'm going to go in an EV and I have to stop and charge it part way before I can go see my granddaughter, that's a hard pass.
Yeah.
So, I'm not, so I think batteries are ahead of their time. I also feel like it wasn't well thought out. As far
No, it wasn't. Oh,
as,
haven't you heard, Laura? All of California is going to be nothing but EVs by 2030, although they
yeah,
have no infrastructure for it. But don't
no.
worry, the governor says that it'll be done.
It'll be fine. Well, and as far as the towing side, I honestly, if an EV is involved in an accident, I won't tow it.
Oh, you will not. Oh, because of the things just like bursting into flames? Yeah.
So they'll burst into flames, and it can happen up to 90 days after they've been compromised.
Right.
And so the prescribed solution for that is to have a concrete box to put them in. I operate on a third of an acre with 12 tow trucks and an auto repair business. I don't have room for concrete boxes. And the problem is, if the fire department, it starts on fire and the fire department shows up to put it out,
uh-huh.
it is an ungodly amount of water that it takes to put out an EV versus a regular car fire.
Mhm.
And all of those chemicals from the batteries have now rendered my site a toxic waste site.
Oh my gosh.
So I won't tow them.
I don't blame you. The whole EV is a toxic waste dump, and people see it's so easy to sell the public on stuff. It's not the Green Deal; it's the Green Deal.
It is,
So
yes.
these things are ecological disasters. All the mining that it takes, they expend more carbon by the time they put it on the lot than a regular internal combustion engine over the life of the car. Most people just don't know that. They think, "Oh, I'm driving around an EV. I'm,
Saving the planet.
helping the environment." It's like these people really can't see past the end of their nose. But anyway,
Oh.
I think we're in the Model A days.
Yes, of EVs, yes, agreed.
So people think, oh, it's so, technologically advanced. Well, think about it. The Model A Ford was very technologically advanced because you didn't have to ride a horse. So that was very technologically advanced. But that's where I like to put us. We're in the Model A days of the EV. We really are. So I'm hoping that for any sort of renewable type energy, my personal hope is pinned completely on hydrogen and us being able to transport it, move it without blowing mom and the kids up, because drinkable water comes out the exhaust, and we already have all the internal combustion cars, and we already have all the gas stations. It says that liquid gas, it would be a gas. Uh,
Sure.
so anyway, that's what I'm hoping for. So we would see some big changes in that. But the planet runs on oil.
Oil.
Oh, yes. So everything is about energy. The biggest business on the planet is oil, not hydrogen. So I think things are going to stay the same for a while.
Agreed.
So, I was no use in asking this question. What role do you believe training and ongoing education in a shop's long-term success?
Oh,
I mean,
hands
back in
down
the
on
day,
both.
30 years ago, when I had a 1971 Ford Cougar with a 351 Cleveland in it, I could go to Zayre's department store and buy a side marker bulb for a quarter and take my Leatherman out with the Phillips head and replace it. Okay, so
And to that point, I mean, as far as training and education, so next Wednesday, we've never done this before. This is something new. And I think sometimes when you have a woman-owned business in a male-dominated field,
Yes.
You know, I can empathize with my customers, and I can empathize with the ladies that. So we have organized, and we actually have a ladies' night next Wednesday. Uh,
Okay.
and really, it's, knowledge is power. And so really, this is about giving the ladies just a basic idea of what is a tire tread depth? What should that look like? How do I change a wiper blade? How do I change a tire on the road? What if my check engine light comes on? What does that mean? Should I be worried? So, yes, we're going to have a ladies' night next Wednesday to, really to empower our female customers.
Okay. Well, before I started this, you see where it says Amazing Women in Auto in parentheses?
Yep,
Okay. Are you familiar?
I am, only
Ah,
because I attended their breakfast
oh, okay.
and it was fantastic. And I just haven't been able, so I joined and I haven't been able to join a Wednesday meeting.
Okay, so you've already joined. Okay, do me a favor. Get that logo on your website up in the trust section, which is the very top
Oh,
part where it loads.
okay,
Because it's a subconscious conversion factor.
okay.
Okay.
I
So
appreciate that.
I,
Thank
I
you.
go to a couple websites, I see Amazing Women in Automotive, and I'm a female. Subconsciously, it's telling me that this company, this shop supports women in this industry without having to say it. So I'm glad that you joined. And if there's any listener here that's a woman, or if you're a male and you know that your wife is actually the one that runs the shop, you're the one in the shop, then go to amazingwia.org, I think it's .org, and sign up. Your sign up is a donation, so the donation is entirely up to you. But Tiffany Sherrato, because I speak at a lot of trade shows, and I speak at the ASTA trade show. Tiffany Sherrato was the 2025 Golden Wrench Award winner for the ASTA trade show last year. So she was recognized as being a person that goes way over and above in the industry. So I support Amazing Women in Automotive. Every shop that we have as a customer, I don't care who runs the shop. I'm like, join Amazing Women in Automotive. I want to get that logo on your website. It's a link from an industry specific website to your shop, which helps with your SEO. It helps with conversions because women see that you support women in the industry. Guess who does 50% of bookings? Women. So I'm glad to know that you are a member. Thank you for joining. But be sure to get that logo on your website. So, money, let's talk about money because you are not going to make it 6 months, let alone 33 years without handling finances well. And I'm sure ATI has really helped you out with that. We personally recommend Cecil Bullard at the Institute for Excellence. You'll see him at all the trade shows. You'll see him at Vision. In fact, they have many speaking engagements at Division. So there's a lot of good coaching companies out there. I personally recommend the Institute because I know a lot of their customers, and so I recommend all of my customers to the Institute. But let's talk about finances. Do you have any really good tips, to give maybe well, maybe even the person that's been around a while, but someone who's just getting started in their shop? What advice would you give uh, as far as handling the finances?
Um, I would agree. I actually have a really good friend that owns a shop down in Denver that's a coach for the Institute. So yeah, any coaching company that you belong to, they're going to help in how to read a profit and loss statement. Why is it important? Why do you need to know that? I can't say that I am a true, firm, hard believer in profit first. However, I do believe in the concept. So, if you pay I don't have the 6 or 8 different bank accounts that Profit First says that you should have and you should follow. I do, however, put a percentage I look at my sales from the previous month, pay yourself first. So profit first. And I do put a percentage of sales away every month.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All the successful shops do. They put a 2, 3%, whatever it is, they put it away. they need some hunter alignment equipment, get rid of Chet.
Well, and you never know. I mean, like you say, hunter alignment equipment, you might need that. You might need a new scan tool. You might have a 2008 show up, and you got to make payroll, and you don't want to take a HELOC out against your house.
Right.
So yeah, so it's to have that cushion, and that it just helps you to be more secure in what you're doing.
Right. Okay. Awesome. So I'll skip the competition question. You're in Frisco, so so I was going to say what role has mentorship played in your career? But you've had a coaching company for how many years now? Over 10?
10.
10.
Yep, over
Okay.
10.
I think I don't know. Do you have any questions that I haven't asked that you think I should ask? Here's one. What systems or habits do you think have made the biggest impact on your shop's profitability?
Boy, probably as far as systems go, we switched over to TechMetric a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
Love it. We've also now, and we did about a year and a half ago, we implemented online bookings. So our customers can go onto our website, do online bookings. That has made a significant impact. And the more they learn about it, the more, and I'll be completely transparent. I need to be better. This is, humbly, I need to do where I need to be better is one-on-ones with my staff. I think that is invaluable in learning what their needs are, whether it be personal or business, what's working well, but it helps us to keep in tune with what is going on day to day in both their lives or the shop. Admittedly, that is something that I need to change my priority system. Those one-on-ones have to be in my head. More important than anything else that's going on. I need to make my staff, they have to know that they are the most important, and I need to be consistent with those. So admittedly, that is a difficulty that I've had in working on changing. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So being in a tourist area like Frisco, I mean, is a large percentage of your business visitors, or is it half and half, or?
We have quite a few visitors. We try and
Quite a few.
we're right on the I-70 corridor. So
right. How many does Breckenridge get? Like 3 million or something? I don't know what it is. It's insane, the amount of tourists. Yeah, you get
and they're on their way to Vail, Copper Mountain, Keystone. I mean, everything's right here. So wintertime, yes. But summertime anymore, historically summer could be a little bit slower. But now we're in our shoulder season right now.
Yeah. May and October, right? Yeah.
May and October. And for many years, we never even saw a slowdown in May and October.
Wow.
It just continue on. This year there's definitely a little shift. It is quieter. The restaurants are quieter. The roads are quieter. So yeah, a large portion of our business is in tourists. But we also are very proud of your local
clientele. Yeah.
We do a lot of fleets. We handle a lot of local fleets.
Right.
As well as our regular customers.
Well, if I still lived there, you guys would be my shop.
I appreciate that.
I remember meeting you now when I started the podcast. I had to change a battery in a Cayenne Turbo S, and it was like you got to rip the seat out, and you got to do, and you were like, no, I'm not touching that.
We're out. We can do it now.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's absolutely awesome. So, anyway, I really do want to thank you very much. And I'm always in Summit. Usually, the reason for the slowdown this winter, it was the worst ski season in recorded history. So normally I'm there in Frisco or Dillon 6 weeks out of the year, 3 weeks early season skiing and 3 weeks late season skiing. So the next time I'm there, I'm going to stop by and say hi. And then I will see you next March for sure.
Yes.
But I'll probably see you this fall when I come in to go skiing. I can pop in real quick and say hi, and then I'll see you again at Vision in March. So not by the booth. I'll get a picture because I like getting pictures of people that I did the podcast with at the event. So But thanks. Tell Larry, who's out running around, your husband. So tell him I just wanted to thank your family for taking your time out of running a very busy shop to be on the podcast. And in a tourist town like Frisco, this is a good month to ask you. Right.
It is a perfect month.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot, Laura. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul, so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
For additional automotive resources and exclusive content, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our episodes. Thanks again for joining us in the driver's seat, and we'll see you next time for another thrilling episode of Top Shop.